Hello, everyone. Welcome back to season 3 of Follow the Farmers virtual farm tours. My name is Larissa Peich, and I work with Agriculture in the Classroom, Manitoba. And we are very excited to have you back with us today. Teachers and students, please feel free to say hi in the chat. We love seeing where everyone's joining in from today. And we are very excited to be back for season 3. Over the first 2 years of this program, we have had 8 different farmers help us educate students about where their food comes from, who grows it, and how it gets onto their plates at their tables. We have brought 7 farm tours from across Manitoba to Manitoba classrooms through the first 2 years of Follow the Farmers. To date, we have featured whether to farm, dairy, hogs, sheep, canola, wheat, and beef. And we are very excited in season 3 here to be offering 3 more topics to you from 3 amazing farms. Starting off with turkey today. We are heading to Timberline Farms very, very shortly. First, I want to say thank you again to Penner Farm Services, who is our video sponsor for this program. We could not do this without you. Also, a big thank you to Manitoba Turkey Producers, who has partnered with us on this offering. We are streaming both on our Agriculture in the Classroom YouTube and Facebook channels. Just a reminder to those teachers joining through YouTube to sign into your accounts so that you can access the comment section and put all of your students' questions in there throughout the event. After the farm tour, we'll be doing our live Q&A, question and answer period with Quentin, our farmer, and he is very excited to answer all of your questions. So students, make sure to keep your ears open and your eyes on the screen so that you can think of those questions that you want to ask to Quentin after the farm tour video is complete. Now I'd like to introduce you to our farmer. Quentin and his wife, Theresa, own and operate Timberline Farms. It is a turkey farm just 30 minutes north of Winnipeg, so not far away. They are the ones who started Timberline Farms and have been farming for 28 years, bringing healthy turkey to our tables. They are very passionate about what they do and they care for their flocks so well. And I'm very excited for you to learn from them today and experience a little bit of Timberline Farms behind the barn doors. So without further ado, let's welcome in Quentin.
Hey there, everybody. I'm super pumped that you're joining us here on the farm today. Hopefully we can all learn a little something.
I'm sure they will. Thanks, Quentin. So kids, we're going to be pulling up the farm tour video very shortly. And like I said, keep your eyes and ears open. And teachers, please send in your students' questions as the video is playing and throughout the question and answer period afterwards. So without further ado, let's head over to Timberline Farms.
Hey there, welcome to Timberline Farms. I'm Quentin Wiebe. This is my wife, Theresa, and we operate a turkey farm about half an hour north of Winnipeg in the Interlake. We've been doing this about 28 years. We bought this farm back in 1995. I had been working construction, building houses for years before, but we saw an opportunity to get into the farming lifestyle. It looked good, so we did it. We raise about 60,000 turkeys a year. 7 different flocks ranging from 7 to 10,000 birds, and all the hens we raise are meant to go onto tables to provide healthy meals. You guys want to see some turkeys? Let's go check out the youngest flock in barn 5. So before we head in, I always spray my shoes with a disinfectant. I'll spray them, and then actually before I go into the birds, I'll change my footwear as well. You don't want to track any bugs, any disease. You want to make sure that stays outside. I've got a line on the floor here that I don't want to cross, so those shoes stay on that side. Now we're ready to head in. So we got about 7,000 birds in here. When a turkey is less than 2 weeks old, they call it a poult. So these birds are 4 days old, and you can see they're just starting to get their wing feathers. When we first get them, they're just all fluff. But you can see right here on the tip of the wings, the feathers are starting to grow. At about 4 weeks old, they'll be all white feathers. When we first get the turkeys, they don't have the ability to regulate their body temperature. So we have to have it really hot in the barn. It's about 34 degrees in here. And then as the bird gets older, they can regulate that temperature easier. So we drop the temperature about 3.5 degrees per week until it's comfortable room temperature. On the floor, we've got wood shavings. There's about that much wood shavings covering the floor. It's important to keep the turkeys clean and dry and comfortable. When the turkeys are young, we actually will overfill these feed pans so that they can actually see it. It's important that if they can see the feed, they're curious and they'll go and peck at it and want to eat. The same with these drinkers here. There's this little red ball. That goes in there just so that the level of water is a little bit higher, again, just so the birds can see it, and they'll be curious. They'll want to go and see what that is, and they'll peck at it, and they say, huh, look at that, I found water. We always have food and water available for them, so whenever they're hungry or thirsty, they can just go get a drink whenever they want. This is what they call a mini pellet. It's a very fine little pellet. The birds, because they're so small, they need it ground up quite fine. And as the birds get older, this will get bigger. As the turkeys pick away at the feed at this last pan, it comes on and fills up again. We have this cardboard, we call it cardboard rings. We put it all the way around the barn. That's just to keep the birds close to the feed and water and close to the heat. We don't want them to run out to the sides. Sometimes they get lost there. These birds are about 3.5 weeks old. They're kind of at that teenage stage. See, this is what they look like up close. You see, you want their feet to be nice and clean like that. You don't want manure build up on there. It just looks like a happy bird. You notice that the lights are a little bit dimmer. We dim the lights just so the birds are a little more subdued because they're so curious. Sometimes they get themselves into trouble. This is a scale. We have one in every barn. And it weighs the bird. When they hop on and off, it'll actually record that, and we can tell what the average weight is. We can also see how much they're gaining per day. Okay, here we are in the pole barn. This is a finishing barn. We move the birds into here when they're about 5-6 weeks old. And these birds are about 9 weeks old now. They're very curious. They got really good vision. You'll see they're always pecking at my boots. If there's something on my boot, they'll come and peck at it. Very curious bunch of birds. These birds are about 4 kilograms now. They're going to be in here for another 3 weeks, so they'll gain about another 2 kilograms. So they'll be about 6.5 kilograms when we ship them. This barn is naturally ventilated. There's these curtains on the side that open and close depending on the temperature. If there's a cold wind coming from one side, that'll close up just to keep the birds comfortable. Turkeys don't sweat like what we do to stay cool. They'll pant like a dog, or sometimes they just kind of drop their wings down just to get the airflow underneath, close to their body. These fans will drop right down to the ground on hot days, so it's right low, and they love just to stand in front of there and try to stay cool. The feed and water system is very much the same as the previous barn. These cups are a little bit bigger. The feed pans are bigger for adult birds. So all the equipment is on a winch, so as the birds grow bigger, we can lift up the equipment to match their height. Turkey feed is made mostly from grains. There's wheat, corn, soybeans in there, and then they add some minerals and vitamins just so the turkeys get a full, balanced diet. Here's some examples of how much a turkey would eat per day. A 1-week-old bird would eat about 22 grams of feed. You can see the feed. This is the smaller little mini pellets. They would drink about a 1/4 cup of water. At about 6 weeks old, they eat 200 grams of feed. Again, you can see the pellets are a little bit bigger. And they drink about a Pepsi can's worth of water in a day. And 11 weeks, when they're just about to be shipped, they would eat 450 grams of feed. Again, you can see these are the biggest pellets. And they would drink a full water bottle of water in a day. This is the feed bin where the feed is stored. We get feed about once a week. And as the birds need it, the feed gets pulled up through this auger into the barn and then into the feed pans the way you saw it in the barn. As you can see, the bin is sitting on load cells, which is a scale. So we always know how much feed is in the bin, and it also monitors how much the birds are eating so we can tell what the daily consumption is. So all the water for the whole farm comes through this room. Here the water is treated, sanitized, so it's healthy for the birds to drink. This here is the controller that we can monitor and control many different things of the barn. We can check the humidity, the temperature, control all the fans. It also monitors the water intake, the feed intake, so we know exactly how much they're eating and drinking. Super handy, we know how much is in the bin. It'll text me if the feed level in the bin is getting too low. It'll let me know. If something goes wrong in the barn, if a feed line is running empty, it'll shut it off for me and then text me and let me know there's a problem. Very handy. And everything that I can control here, I can also control from an iPad or my phone from anywhere that has internet access. So this barn, we shipped the birds out of here a little while ago. As you can see, we've lifted up all the equipment so we can get the skid steer underneath. All the manure gets hauled out and spread on the fields and makes really good fertilizer. It takes a lot of work to raise a healthy turkey flock, but fortunately we have help. We have the feed company that's always there to answer any feed-related questions. They have a nutritionist on staff that makes sure the turkeys get exactly what they need at each stage of their life. We also have the vet. If we have any trouble, they're always there to help out. And also the hatchery that provides the poults. Any issues with the young birds, they're always there to help as well. Turkey is a year-round protein that you can buy in any grocery store. There's many different products available like turkey breasts, turkey thighs, drumsticks. There's also ground turkey that you can make into burgers. Turkey is a nutritional powerhouse. It's a high-quality protein that's packed full of vitamins and minerals to ensure you got a healthy body. Protein is great for building and repairing body tissue. It also has iron that helps with healthy blood and selenium for healthy skin. The best part about my job is I can work right here on the farm. I don't have to commute to work. I can come in for lunch and for meals whenever I want. And it's just great to have the flexibility of working from home. Thanks for joining us on our farm today. I hope you learned something new about turkey. See you later.
Amazing. Thank you, Quentin.
Hey, you're very welcome. I hope you learned something today.
The weather looked a lot different back then. That's for sure. A lot greener than it is now.
Yeah, it's all that turkey manure on the field that keeps everything so green.
I bet. So can you tell us a little bit, Quentin, before we dive into the Q&A, also a reminder to teachers and students, please push your questions into the Q&A comment section. We would love to get those in there and throw them Quentin's way. But first, Quentin, can you tell me a little bit about, where are you right now? Where are you joining us from?
I'm in my barn entrance. So just through that door, I've got turkeys in there. And there's actually two other doors in this barn entrance that also has turkeys in it.
Okay. And are all the turkeys in this area the same age, or are they different ages? Or tell me a little bit about that.
So I'm in an entrance that has 3 barns connected to it, and all 3 barns, the birds are all the same age. They're all about 9.5 weeks old. So actually they're getting close to being shipped. Okay.
And last question for me, because I know we want to get to the students' questions here, but I see a lot of white pipes behind you up on the wall and kind of going up on the ceiling. What are those for in the barn area there?
That's all water going into the barns for the turkey. So each barn has its own water meter, and it's all the water for this barn goes through there.
Okay, very cool. Thank you. Well, I think we're ready to dive into a few student questions if you are.
I'm ready. Let's see what you got.
Okay, let's bring in the first question there, and I'll read it out to you. This is from Cheryl McQueen's class. They are wondering, how many turkeys do you raise on your farm? And this is from Victory School, coming your way.
Hey, Cheryl. Hey, we grow about 58 to 60,000 turkeys a year. Not all at one time. We'll get 7 different flocks. So the smallest flock would be about 7,000, and then the biggest flock would be about 10,000.
Okay. And I have a question too, if you don't mind, Quentin. When do you get 7,000 and when do you get 10,000? How is that decision made?
Well, different barns are different sizes. So
Okay.
the smaller barn, of course, is a 7,000. And the bigger barn is the 10.
Okay. And you know probably in advance what you're going to be getting each time. It's all planned out for the year, right?
Yeah, we'll actually order all of next year's turkeys. We'll be doing that kind of in December sometime. So it's very planned out, so we know exactly when we're getting them, when we're shipping them.
Okay, awesome. Do we have another question that we can bring in there? My team on the back here is pulling in all your questions, students. Keep sending them our way. Okay, so we have a question here from Catherine Hishka. And her class is wondering, where do you get the baby turkeys from?
Well, that's a good question. There is actually only one turkey hatchery in Manitoba, which is right close to us. It's only a mile away. So all the turkeys come from Sherson's Turkey Hatchery.
Okay. And when they arrive, Quentin, I'm assuming they are placed directly in the poult barn?
Yep.
Or do they come down a little ramp into the barn, or how does that work?
No, they come on the back of a truck, a heated truck, so they're comfortable in there. And they come in boxes. The box is about the size of like about that big. You grab them and you carry them. There are 100 birds in a box. So we carry them into the barn, and then we dump them out, and then they can run over the whole barn.
Very cool. They must love all the space once they get into there. You can run until their heart's content.
Yep.
Very neat. Awesome. Thanks for the question there, Catherine. Okay, we have another one here from Dawn Ferrant, and she is wondering, her class is wondering, how much does a newborn turkey weigh? So how much does a poult weigh when you first get them?
They're about 65 grams. So they're actually just a little ball of fluff. Not much weight at all, but they grow very fast.
Mm-hmm. And how long are they in I know in the video you showed us the poults, the kind of first stage barn. How long are they in that barn for before they move into the next phase barn?
Well, they're in that barn. Well, you saw that cardboard that we had around. That's just for the first 5 to 7 days. Then we open it up so they have the whole barn. But as they grow, they need more space. So at about 5 weeks, then we'll transfer them from that barn into a different barn where it's almost twice the size. So now again, they have more room. Just as they grow bigger, they need more room in order to be comfortable.
Right. Okay. Very cool. Thank you. Okay. So we have questions flooding in here. So this is from Nicole McNiven, and they are wondering, do you like being a turkey farmer? I love that question.
Yeah, that's a good question, Nicole. Yes, for the most part, I love being a turkey farmer. Like it's always, I can come out. And the barn is so close. I could throw a stone from my house and hit the barn. It's that close. So I'm right close to my work, and I enjoy seeing the turkeys. I always feel like I have lots of friends because as soon as I open the door, they all come to greet me. So yeah, it's lots of fun.
Awesome. Thanks, Quentin. Okay, Shannon Keeley is wondering, can you pet your turkeys?
Yeah, you can pet them if you can catch them. They're very curious. They want to come to me, but then when I reach out to pet them, often they try to run away a little bit. But I would say they don't really like being pet, I don't think.
Okay. Well, on that note, Quentin, I know that you said you're open to possibly getting a turkey and bringing it up to the camera to show the kids. Are you game to still do that?
Yeah, let's do that. Just let me go.
Let's do it.
Let's go grab one.
Awesome. Well, students, he's going to bring the turkey right up to the screen here, and maybe we'll get him to chat a little bit about it and kind of, if you have any questions specifically about this when he has the turkey here in front, feel free to put in the chat and we'll pull those in.
There you go.
Oh, awesome.
See, once I have them, then they don't mind, if I pet them. But he might also jump and flap and want to get away. He's a little bit nervous.
Okay. I guess they're not used to that as much, right? They're used to
Well,
being on their own and with their flock and.
Yeah, they're not used to this room. He's used to being in the barn with all his buddies, so he's looking around, not sure what's going on.
So how old would this turkey be, Quentin, that you have here?
It's about 9.5 weeks old.
Okay. And we have a question here from Michelle Ducharme's class. They're wondering, can students come and visit your farm?
Not so much. We're very careful with visitors because we don't want people tracking in any type of disease. It can be as easy as someone walking outside and stepping in. Let's say there's wild bird droppings. If they would step in that and then step into the barn, there's potential for disease to come in. So we try to keep the traffic to a minimum.
Yeah, it's for the safety of the flock. As you saw in the video, students, Quentin sprayed his feet, and that's a biosecurity measure that a lot of farmers do to make sure that everything that's going in the barn with the animals is clean to keep them safe. So Quentin let me in his farm, which was nice. Thank you.
So you can see he likes to keep his head in the same place because when I move the bird.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. Are there any questions? Oh, here we go. Ardina is wondering, can turkeys fly?
Wild turkeys can fly, but these ones can't, just because they're grown to be for weight, to be heavy, and they're too heavy they're too heavy to fly.
Okay. Is there anything that you could tell us about the turkey while you have her here with you, Quentin? Like about
maybe when I get close.
Yeah, that's great. We can see.
Can you guys see? This is the ear here.
Okay.
It's just like it's not they don't have ears with on the outside. It's just really a hole kind of covered up with fuzz. Underneath here, this is a hen. So the hens aren't as big as the toms. And on a tom, this up here on the top, can you see that little? Yeah. That's called the snood. And on a tom, that actually gets quite long. It'll actually hang down off their nose. It's quite interesting. And see in the wings, I'll try to spread it out a little bit for you.
Without her trying to flap away on you.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, really big wings.
Yeah.
Very cool. Is there a reason, Quentin? I'm just noticing on her beak, the top part is shorter than the bottom part. Is that part of making it easier for them to feed, or what's the reason for that?
You know what that is at the hatchery when they're just small, just out of the egg, they don't trim it. It's actually a laser that goes through the top of their beak, and the reason for that is that a turkey is kind of like an eagle. It would have a big hook on the beak. So just because there's so many birds in the barn, sometimes and because they're so curious, they start pecking at things. So if one bird would peck at a different bird and they have that big sharp beak, well, then they cut them and hurt them, and we don't want that.
Right.
So, yeah.
To keep them safe.
Yeah, just keep them safe. And it doesn't hurt them. It just is a laser, and then that top beak will fall off at about kind of when they're about 2 weeks old.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Are you comfortable holding her for a couple more questions, Quentin?
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Let's pull in another question here. Oh, Laura Cox's class is wondering, what is a snood? So what does it do for the turkey?
A snood, and again, it's a tom would have it's much bigger. It helps for heat dissipation. Like if they're hot, they can kind of release some of the heat through the snood. And I guess for the tom more so, it's kind of like I was going to say a decoration, maybe not a decoration, but it's a little bit to show off to the hens, right?
The females get their attention. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We have a question here from Deanna Matheson's class. Can a turkey smile? And how long are their necks? That's coming from Earl Oxford School.
Well, it's smiling right now. Can't you tell?
Kind of looks a little bit like a smile. I can see that.
No, they can't. They don't smile. Their face always looks the same. So I guess in short, no smiles. I don't know if you could see. Can you see the
Mm-hmm.
tongue? See the tongue?
Yeah.
How pointy it is?
Yeah.
It's kind of different.
Interesting.
And how long are their necks? Well, about that long on that one.
About 8 inches,
Yeah,
10 inches or so.
yeah. At this age of bird, it's probably about 8 inches or so. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Any more questions? Laura Cox's class. How much does an adult turkey weigh? And this is coming from a student named Bridget from McCall Harrison.
Hey, thanks, Bridget, for asking. An adult turkey would weigh. I mean, it varies. We ship them at about 6.5 kilograms, but they can get much bigger. A tom can get up to probably 30 pounds, which would
Oh,
be
wow.
that would be 15 kilograms or more. And actually, the turkey breeders, the ones that are laying the turkey breeders lay the eggs, and then they hatch them, and then we get these guys. Those turkey breeders can get up to 70 pounds.
Oh, wow.
The turkeys can get big, but typically for on the table, they want them around the 6.5 kilograms.
Okay. Thanks, Quentin. Another one from Laura Cox's class. Thanks, Laura. How fast can turkeys run? This is coming from Charlie. He's wondering this.
Well, I don't know how fast they run, but they sure are hard to catch when they get out of the barn. So faster than me.
Faster than you can move.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's see if we have another question here that can come in. Okay, so this is from a student named Magnus. And Magnus is wondering, how do you clean up the turkey poo?
Well, we do the cleanup just at the end of the flock once we ship them. So when they poo in the barn, it all gets mixed into those shavings.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just go in there with a tractor and scoop it up and load it out onto a truck. Okay.
Thanks, Quentin. If you want Quentin to go put her back, you're welcome to do so.
Okay, it's fine. She's nice and warm, like a heater against me.
Well, whenever you need to put her back in the barn, feel free to get up and do that. We have another question here, and this is from K Walk. It looks like it's maybe some initials here. Is it smelly in the barn?
A little bit, it is. Yeah, there's always because the poo is just stayed in there, but I mean it dries out. But yeah, there's a bit of a smell.
Yeah, well, with any animal, even with humans, right?
Yeah.
Anything that pees or poops, there's a little bit of a smell that comes with that, right?
Exactly.
Okay, Ashley Brown, this is my daughter's class. Hi, Quinn. So this is coming from Springfield Heights School, and they are wondering, are the turkeys ever really annoying? Do they sometimes bite you when you're in there with them?
They don't bite, but because they're so curious, they peck at you. So sometimes if I'm standing there looking at something, if my hand is hanging down, all of a sudden they snap and they try to peck at my fingers, and kind of scares me sometimes. So that can be a little annoying. Or if I'm fixing something in the barn, they're all so curious. They just want to come and peck at everything, all my tools, my hands. It's hard to fix something when they're always constantly pecking at you.
I bet. I didn't find them too annoying when I was in the barn with you. They were just really curious about my boots.
Yeah,
like my boots.
Curious.
Yeah. Thanks, Mrs. Brown's class. Okay, so we have another one here. And the question is from Warren Elementary School. And they are wondering, does a turkey farm include machinery, or do you have to receive your grain and feed from other farms?
Good question. No, we have machinery, but not machinery for doing any grain farming. So we buy our feed from a feed mill. So the farmers sell their grain to the feed mill, they make turkey feed, and then they bring it to me. Okay.
And how often, Quentin, I think you may have said it in the video, but just so kids can hear it again, how often do you get feed to your farm for the turkeys?
Usually once a week.
Okay.
Every week their diet changes a little bit. So so you're always getting a truck every week. Sometime, kind of depending on how old the birds are, how much they're eating. A full semi load in a week, sometimes even a bit more.
Okay. Thank you. So a question here from Catherine Hishka's class. Do you sell most of your turkeys at Thanksgiving?
No, we don't. We sell turkeys actually almost all year round. We want people to eat turkey, not just at Thanksgiving, but every day.
Yeah, I hear that. I had turkey chili yesterday, Quentin. I thought I should tell you. It was very tasty.
That's what I like to hear.
Okay, so we have another question here from Amanda Walker's class. And Amanda's class is wondering, how much did your barns cost to build? And this is from a Cole Swan River school.
Well, we bought an existing farm, so we didn't build all the barns. But if you had to build this barn that I'm sitting in right now, if you had to build this barn today, it would cost over $1 million.
Wow. And you have more than one barn on your property.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Wow. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's to produce healthy food for us. So thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, another question from Catherine's class. Where do you sell the turkeys?
We sell them all to a company called XL Door. There's only one place in Manitoba that processes turkeys, and that it's about an hour and a half away.
Okay. And do you have any other turkey farms close by to you, Quentin, or are you kind of the only one in your area?
No, there's a few in the area. I can think of three that are within 10 miles.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So quite a few close by. Interesting. So how are we looking for questions? Oh, here's another one. So this is from Demeo, and this is from PV School. And they are wondering, what was the biggest problem that you have had with some of your flocks?
Well, the biggest problem is if they get sick. They're just like people. They'll get a cold or a virus. Mm-hmm. So that's probably the biggest problem is health problems. Like we can give them medication. We talk, if they do get sick, we talk to the vet. Mm-hmm. The vet will come and check them, and if he thinks they need medication, he'll prescribe medication for them. Okay. But as a farmer, you want to have happy, healthy birds. So when the turkeys aren't happy, then usually I'm not happy.
Yeah, I bet. And when they do need medication, Quentin, like I know with us, if we get some vaccines or other things, it's through a needle or through something we take in our mouth. How do turkeys get their medicine?
We can put all the medication through the water system. So all those pipes that are behind me there's also a medicator involved in that it'll suck up medication and inject it, and then it goes into the barn.
Drink it up through the water. Very neat.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so we have another question here from Braxton. And this is, why do you raise turkeys rather than chickens?
Because turkeys are better.
Very content.
Yeah, look at that. It doesn't get any better. A chicken would never do this, No, we bought a turkey farm. It was a turkey farm, and we just continued to do the same thing.
Yeah. Here's the question, Braxton. Oh, Jatinder Jora's class. This is from a student named Dash. Awesome name. And Dash is wondering, can turkeys swim?
I've never tried to put one in the water. Usually I want to keep them dry, but I've never tried. Yeah. I'm sure if they would, I've seen other birds make an attempt at swimming. So let's just say I'm not sure, but we probably shouldn't try.
I guess they don't quite have the webbed feet like ducks do, so they might kind of flutter on top of the water, but that's actually a good question, Dash. We'll have to maybe look into it a little bit more.
I think they're too heavy. I think they would sink.
Yeah, they might. Good question. Okay, Catherine's class. Does that turkey you're holding have a name? Or if it doesn't, can they name it for you?
I don't have a name for it, so I'd be happy if you guys could name it. I'm curious to see what you would come up with.
Hey, Catherine, send in the name to me, and I'll let Quentin know. Okay, Michelle Descharmes' class. Do turkeys have teeth?
Well, let's check. You see any teeth in there?
I don't see any teeth.
No,
Students,
no.
do you see any teeth? No.
No teeth.
Okay. And is there tongue inside, Quentin? It looks very white. Am I looking at the right thing? Is it a very light colored tongue?
I'll try to show you here. Let's see.
I'm very impressed that she's letting you do this.
Yeah. Can we see the tongue
Say,
there? There it is.
Yeah, it is very light colored.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that it's pretty much the same shape as her beak.
It's almost like it's meant to fit right in its mouth.
Yeah, almost. Pretty cool. Okay, so we have another question here. This is from Kabir. And Kabir is wondering, how old can turkeys live until?
I mean, they can live to be several years old. We, of course, don't keep them that long, but I know other people that have kind of kept them on the farm, and they've been like 3-4 years old. Maybe they could live even longer than that, given the opportunity.
Okay.
But they taste so good, so they usually don't last that long.
So I just have a note here, Quentin. They named that bird that you're holding. Do you want to know what they said?
What did they come up with?
Bob.
Bob. But it's a girl. You can't name a girl Bob, can you?
Well, she could be Bobby.
Bobby. There
or for Barbara or something like that. That works.
I like that. It's Bobby.
Okay, so we have time for a few more questions. I'm going to say maybe 3 more questions if we have. And this one's from Scott and Lex Stevenson, and they are wondering, how much do you sell a full-grown turkey for?
Well, you know what? Again, it all depends on the weight, but it could be, anywhere from, maybe $12 to $15.
Okay.
Roughly.
Okay. And does that change at certain times of year, or is that kind of a standard across the whole selling season of a?
No, like the price is based on a per kilogram price. So that price does change. If the cost of feed goes up, then often the price of the live bird would also go up.
Yep.
So, if you got a 6.5 kilogram bird at, $2.20, well, there, you do the math.
Right.
You guys are the students. I don't do math. You guys do the math.
Yeah, teachers can get you to do some math on that,
Yeah,
kids, in your class. All right, so we have a question from Garden Grove School, and this is from Michelle Descharnes' class. And they are wondering, how long does a turkey sleep for?
Well, they sleep. The lights actually will go out in the barn for about 8 hours a night. So during that time, they're sleeping. It's totally quiet in the barn. They're all just down and sleeping. And
so very much like us. Lights go out and they sleep for the night and then get up in the morning.
Sometimes they nap during the day. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's say 2 more questions here. So we have one from Burntwood Elementary, and they are wondering, do turkeys shed?
Yeah, they often, as they get older, you'll find there's quite a bit of feathers laying around in the barn. So they do drop some feathers as they get older. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, new ones are always growing.
Okay. So much like us just losing hair every day, and it's just a natural kind of shedding process. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, looks like she's getting sleepy. Looks like she's going to have a nap right here on my lap.
Oh. Yeah, she is looking sleepy. Her eyes are closing there. Okay, so let's say, here's our last question here. How many turkeys do you lose per batch, per flock? So obviously, it's kind of hard to estimate that, but do you have a rough estimation?
It is. I mean, it varies very much from flock to flock, but you would expect that you might lose anywhere from 1.5%. So, let's say out of a flock of 10,000, 150 birds, and most of those are kind of right at the beginning when, just they don't all make it. Some of them, whatever, they have something either is wrong with them, or they don't find the food and water. But but in it could be more, but you always hope that you'll get most of them to market.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Cycle of life, natural process, right? Okay, well, thank you, Quentin. I don't see any more questions filtering through feverishly right now, so I think that we'll leave it there. But if any more do come in to us, are you okay if I throw them your way and we can put them up on social media and answer them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you very much, Quentin. We hope all of you students across Manitoba learned a lot about turkey farming today from Quentin, the expert. And teachers, I just want to remind you to head over to your teacher dashboard. On there, you will find our activity that goes along with this Follow the Farm Tour program. Kids have the opportunity to make their own Eat Well plate featuring turkey as their protein. So teachers, there's a teacher guide in there. There's a PowerPoint that helps you guide the students through the activity and kind of introduce the concepts to them. And then there are some really fun student worksheets where students can cut and paste different food ingredients and create their own lunch and dinner Eat Well plate using turkey. So be sure to dive into that. As always, the recording of this Follow the Farm Tour offering, as well as just the farm tour itself, will be available up on the dashboard as well. So any teachers that you know that weren't able to tune in live, it is available for you to watch after the fact, and it will be open all school year long. So please tap into that and try the resource with it. I would like to give another shout out to Manitoba Turkey for partnering with us, to Penner Farm Services for being our video sponsor, and to you, Quentin, and Theresa, for allowing us to come onto your farm and taking the time to work with us on this event and to be here answering these questions for students across Manitoba. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I'm glad that you guys could join us.
Thanks, Quentin. Have a great Friday, everyone. We'll see you in the new year for soybeans. Have a good day.